I mean, you got a Cubs hat on. I might need to put on something Seattle proud.
Yeah, you might have to.
I might have to. I'll be right back.
You might need to put on a Seahawks jersey, bro.
I'm rocking the M's today.
Oh, okay. You're staying humble right now in this like
Staying humble.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that should be the first.
What's there to be happy about?
That's so funny, bro. I feel like we should the first thing we should go into is the NFL playoffs. Like
Yeah, I
what a
think you're right.
weekend, honestly.
Yeah. What a weekend. 4 games, pure entertainment for 3 out of the 4.
Yeah. Yeah, the first game, Bills and Broncos, that was a lit game that went to OT.
Came down to OT. Yeah.
I don't really have a dog in the fight in that one, but I like Josh Allen, and I feel like every year I keep watching him lose in the playoffs in the most heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think he just deserves a win. He needs to catch his break. Like he's getting to the edge, but he's not like getting pushed over that edge. That's what he needs.
I want to see him win a championship at some point. Also,
Mm.
the end of that game came down to some kind of, in my opinion, controversial pass interference calls. Like, first, there was a PI that didn't get called. And then after that, there were
Mm.
two that did. And I thought that was kind of a cheese strat that we were watching. Like, it was just Bo Nix, he just throws it up, and the receiver is clamped. Like, the DB probably fought a little too
Yeah.
hard on those. But the DB was clamped the whole time. Like he was never open, never getting like
Yeah.
held from being open. And I thought that,
It wasn't as obvious as you would think.
yeah, I
Ref thought it was obvious like right away.
yeah,
I don't know. Also, that pick. Can we talk about that?
yeah, that was crazy. That was an amazing play.
I feel like they should have at least took some more time and reviewed it. Seems like they made their decision like quickly, but it seemed like to me, he was down, but DB did make a good play, and it was kind of like one of those 50-50 balls where whoever just ends up with it,
Yeah,
kind of like the
honestly,
refs are just like, all right,
yeah,
that way.
yeah.
So, I mean, a pretty impressive play by the DB.
And then the second game, the your Seahawks, Ben, they absolutely steamrolled the 49ers.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a game from the very first play.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a lot of people chitting and chatting after the last game. And they were saying like, "Oh, you guys only won by 10." Like it's not that much of a game. Like it was a close game. Like that is true. Our kicker missed 2 field goals that game. It should have been realistically 19-3. But we end up only winning by 10, and 49ers fans, always have to find excuses. Um, but what I loved about this game is we didn't leave it up for any question, and it was, you know, to advance. So, it's the most important game of the season for both teams, and didn't leave it up to question on that one. So, yeah, proud of the guys.
yeah, I was glad to see the 49ers lose. Like, I remember the Bears played them a few weeks ago, and there's this one emote Brock Purdy kept hitting the whole game, and I
Mm.
was getting sick of seeing that. So I'm glad the Seahawks beat the
We'll
49ers.
cue that. We'll cue that. You guys know what we're talking about.
And then the third game was Texans Patriots. Bro, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Mm.
I did not even know the Texans were in the playoffs. I didn't even know they were good the whole year. I didn't hear anything about the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Bro, let's be real. I didn't even remember they were in the AFC.
That's news to me
So,
as well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, kudos to them for making it this far. I feel like the Patriots just kind of held their own the whole game, though. And they weren't really budging, especially on defense. The Texans was playing well at first, but it seemed like over the course of the game, they just couldn't take it.
Pause.
They
You.
couldn't withstand those back shots, bro.
Yeah, and then the last game, the Bears. Bro,
Mm.
I'm coming on this in a little bit of a somber mood after watching that. That was just a tough
Yeah.
game. I thought the Bears were going to win. Like, I was fully convinced this is the Bears' year. They're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And I think what a lot of
Yeah.
that comes from is not just delusional fandom. My insiders on the streets, like, I've been hearing murmurs from them that 2026 is the new 2016. Like, everyone knows 2016 was a goated year. There's been
Mm.
murmurs we're coming back to a great time like that. And I felt like a key part of 2016 was the Cubs winning the World Series that made that year
Mm.
lit
Against all
against
odds.
all odds, snapping a 108-year drought.
Yeah. Legendary.
And
See, they wanted to be great.
yeah, and the Bears wanted to be great too. And
I think they did. Yeah.
them winning the Super Bowl this year would just confirm that we're in a renaissance time. Like, that would have been inspirational to the entire human race,
Yeah.
especially after some of these moments this year, like the overtime win against the Packers, the comeback win against the Packers. Honestly, I'll say, even though the Bears are
First
out,
playoff win in years.
yeah, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl and like didn't they lost, it was still a great year. Honestly, a super fun
Hmm.
year to be a fan of them, and it was pretty successful because they had two insane wins against the Packers. And I also
Sure.
remember when the Cubs won the Super Bowl in 2016, they were good in 2015 for the first year in a long time. And they made it to, I think, the same place the Bears just made it to. And like, the Bears didn't win the Super Bowl this year, but I have the same. They're going to
They're
win
stacking
next year.
bricks.
They're going to win the
Yeah.
Super Bowl next year. There's no
Mm.
way they don't.
Honestly, I was fretting for the Bears, especially on that fourth down play, but Caleb Williams just absolutely play of a lifetime. You don't see plays like that uh, once a year, even. So the fact that that happened and they were able to have such a close game with one of the best offenses in the league is super impressive. And yeah, kudos to the Bears. I mean, I feel like they deserved it, and it was more their time. And as a Seahawks fan, like I was kind of rooting for the Bears because it would have been like cool to have a different matchup. But we'll take on the Rams and avenge the Bears, and I think hopefully Bears fans can get behind the Rams losing this time.
Yeah, I'm honestly just. I don't know. Like, the Seahawks, Rams, Broncos, and Patriots.
Go back to 2013.
Is that the same?
Like if the Seahawks make the Super Bowl, it'll be in either 2013 or 2014 remake, where the Seahawks blew out the Broncos in 2013 to win the Super Bowl. Or the next year, they lose in heartbreaking fashion to the Patriots. And I think it's like you're saying, we're seeing remakes of 10 plus years ago where history is repeating itself. And I'm honestly hoping if the Seahawks make the Super Bowl, we can play the Patriots and get that revenge and run the ball on the 1 yard line like we need to win the game because I think that's what the city of Seattle needs.
Honestly, that would be a lit Super Bowl matchup. Patriots and Seahawks.
Yeah, it would like be internal healing for any
Mm.
Seahawks fan to see the Seahawks beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would be kind of like rejuvenating, even.
Yeah, yeah,
It would be
exactly.
kind of magical.
It would. It would
And
be.
I honestly think, I mean, look, I thought the Bears were going to win the Super Bowl. That didn't end up happening. But I think that is what will happen if I had to predict the outcome of the rest of these playoffs. I think it will be the Seahawks and Patriots. I think the Seahawks will beat the Rams.
Mm.
Bro, I thought the Bears were going to beat the Rams for sure. I mean, they
The Rams have been good all season. The thing is they've lost a couple close games, one to Seattle, but another to Atlanta
hmm,
late in the year. And they, on paper shouldn't have lost. So I think they're still a team that's like not as confident as they were in week 9, So
yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
I think there's still some room there, and they're gonna come into Seattle, and I think they're gonna tremble just as much as the Niners did.
I think so too because like I texted you at halftime in the Bears game. I think for sure we're gonna win because it was I can't remember if they were up or it was tied.
It was 10-10 at
Yeah,
half.
I said if the Bears were down 21-3, it's like we got them right where we want them. And so the fact it was tied, I thought for sure the Bears were gonna win, but then they didn't score in the second half. Like the only offense was that insane play of a lifetime last play of the game. They didn't score any points in the second half other than that. And I, I felt like watching the Bears this year, they have these insane moments. Like these moments you couldn't imagine watching as a fan that are so lit and
Yeah.
fun to watch. And then they also, like, when the Bears are working, it's so fun. But sometimes for them, it's not working. And I felt like that was why they lost that game, just because of the offense in the second half. But the Seahawks offense is good. Like I've watched a lot of the Seahawks games this year. Their defense is good too. They are a great team this year. I definitely think they're the
Yeah.
strongest of any other team.
Yeah, I would agree. And I would say it's mostly because of our defense. We do have, I think I saw a stat today that out of all the drives this season, all the defensive drives allowed by Seattle, only 14% end in a touchdown. And so, and that's ranked number 1 in the NFL. I think their defense keeps them in games, and their offense really just determines by how much they can increase their margin of victory. Because they've won the last, I want to say, 10 games. Their last loss was to the Rams in LA. I think that was week 8 or 9. And since then, they've been playing really well, and it's their defense that keeps them in the game. Their offense can be a little shaky. I know everyone has questions about Sam Darnold, but if he's just not turning the ball over, I think it's a recipe for success.
Yeah. And in the AFC, that is so tough with Bo Nix breaking his ankle on the last play of the game. He's going to be out.
Yeah,
That's super tough for
yeah.
Denver and for him.
I feel like, especially if that were me, it would be the worst way to go out. Is you're taking a knee.
Yeah.
You're ending the game in what should be victory formation, and you end up breaking your ankle, and it's just a terrible way to go out. None of the fans even knew it until later. So,
Yeah, because there was that shot
um,
of him like grimacing on the sideline, looking like he was in a lot of pain. And it's crazy to think like in that moment he broke his ankle. He probably knows it's over. And
something's wrong for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited for the last 3 football games of the year, bro. Like this is it. It's all
yeah.
coming
It'll
down.
be great, and it'll be awesome. I hope my Seahawks can play in front of Bad Bunny. That'll be pretty sweet. Another controversial topic, maybe not for today.
Bro, bro, isn't Bad Bunny the biggest artist in the world?
I think he's been on the top 100, like the top of that list for a while.
Yeah. No, I gotta keep it a
Mhm.
buck, bro. If if you are out there, bro, and you're pissed that Bad Bunny is performing in the Super Bowl, bro, you're a racist. Like, don't watch our stuff, bro.
It's true. It's true. I mean, so I speak Spanish, but before even learned Spanish, I still like the rhythm.
Yeah,
I feel like it's hard to hate on a genre, on a culture, especially someone like that, where there's millions of people around the world that love and listen to him. So
yeah. Like
Yeah,
he,
not tolerated around these parts.
yeah. This is America. The Super Bowl artist should be speaking American.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, he'll be the first Super Bowl performance that's in Spanish.
Yeah,
Because we've had other Latino artists in the past, Shakira and others. They're singing mostly in English. So that's where the fans are kind of like, I can understand where you don't understand what's being sung, but just enjoy the vibes. And you don't have to be present at the Super Bowl. You don't even have to watch the halftime show. So no one's forcing you to watch it. Um, let's be honest, we're all there for the game, at least us sport fans. So,
yeah, and I think it's cool just growing in different cultures in front of different people. Like that's how you grow something, honestly. And I think anything that
mhm.
gets more people interested in the NFL and football worldwide is good for the sport. Um, Speaking of something that can get people interested into football worldwide, bro, the national championship of college football.
Wow.
Bro, that was
What a
a
game.
lit game. Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought Indiana was the better team, but Miami did a great job. They were keeping themselves in that game up until the very end.
Yeah. And the fact that they were in the game despite all of those turnovers was impressive to me. Just shows how good their defense was, bend and not break. I feel like their offense was just the part that couldn't hold on and is what ultimately lost them the game.
Yeah, Indiana is just kind of unstoppable. Like they are so good, bro.
Zero five-star recruits.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. Just focusing on developing players. One thing they mention a lot about a lot of the players is they transferred from another big D1 school. They transferred there because they kind of had a chip on their shoulder, like wanted to prove something. And
Mm,
I think that like staying with a team, developing yourself, playing with the team because you really care about that team, that is going to prove to be so important in like valuable in college football. I really think Indiana has that. Like, bro, people are probably not deciding to play college football at Indiana for like NIL, or they're not going there for the weather, you know? They're going there to
yeah, it's
develop
not.
the best way they can.
It's true. It's true. I think uh, coach has done a great job with just building that culture of winning. And from his very first interview, he's like, "I just win. Google me."
Yeah, and that was when he was
And
coming
like,
from JMU Dukes. And then he takes
yeah,
Indiana to the national championship. That's actually insane.
the Hoosiers are champions, and they have half of their playoff wins just this year. 3 out of 6, I want to say. They only had 2 or 3 before this ever. So pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, I'm honestly glad to see a team like Indiana succeed. I feel like NIL, like players getting paid, has brought some bad things. Like so many players are entering the transfer portal all the time. It seems like it's so crazy. Also, I don't think it always ends up very good for the players because you could, transfer from a school and then maybe that coach goes and gets a bag at a different school and then all of a sudden your offer isn't really valid anymore. And it seems like it can be really destructive to the sport and the teams and the athletes and just like everyone. And one is I've never seen Indiana and Miami national championship matchup. I've never seen Ole Miss be that good. I feel like it makes more teams good. Like the sport is overall more competitive. And I'm glad Indiana won because it shows an example of like sticking with the team, staying with that process will really just benefit you in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it helps players realize from other schools that they don't have to play at the top name schools to compete. And you can compete anywhere and you just have to play where you feel comfortable, not necessarily just where you're getting paid the most. Um, I think Indiana built that culture in a great way this season, building off of last season too, with also a good year. So I think they have a chip on their shoulder. I think the players and coach kind of play that way, where they just have something to prove, even though they're ranked number one. So it gives them an edge, I would say.
Yeah, this was such a fun year of college football. Except for being a Beavers fan, that part was not fun this year. But
Yeah,
just being kind of a neutral person watching a lot of big games. I watched a lot of Big Ten and SEC games this year, and it's just fun. I feel like every year there's so many good teams, there's so many stories. The teams and the players also, like individual stories. And I texted you when I was watching the national championship, but all year I've been watching college football thinking they need a Drive to Survive series. They need a Last Chance U series on Netflix about Division 1 college football. I think that would grow the sport because every single game I watch, ESPN, they're always talking about some player or just some
and their
incredible, yeah,
story. Yeah.
some incredible story of someone who came from a tiny town in the middle of nowhere and is making all their dreams come true in through the sport of football. I think that's really special, and I would love to see a series like that, and I think it'd do really well for college football.
Yeah, I would agree. I think in the NFL, that's less focused on with the players is their stories. You just kind of focus on the sport, but in college football, like you said, I think they do a much better job of focusing also on the players and their backgrounds and just appreciating where people are coming from. I think that's a good aspect for sure.
Yeah, that was. I feel like this was all that really happened this week. We had football, NFL, and college football championship. Um, Next week, I am looking forward to UFC 324. Two big fights
Mm.
on this card. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. This is a big fight for O'Malley. He's lost his last two against Merab Dvalishvili, and
Wow.
he definitely needs to get the shit pointed back in a positive direction. He is so fun to watch. He has insane highlight reel knockouts, but sometimes for him it just hasn't worked. Like his fights against Merab Dvalishvili, it's just like not the same fighter. Just nothing's working, and so this is gonna be a big bounce back fight for him. I honestly hope he wins. I hope to see a good fight from him. I hope like a good performance. His message on social media is that he's training harder than he ever has, like pushing himself further than he ever has, and I think that's really inspiring. And then the main event, Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. This is going to be an
Wow.
absolutely lit fight. I don't have much to say other than you couldn't imagine a more exciting matchup for UFC. Like, if you've
Hmm.
wondered, should I watch UFC? This fight is the best matchup. It's just going to be a great fight. I don't think that fight is going to go the distance. I think someone's for sure getting knocked out in that matchup. And I'm excited because I'm actually going to be able to watch this fight. I'm not going to have to go on Streamies, bro. This is the first card on Paramount Plus, and I'm so hyped that I can just watch UFC now. I don't have to,
Wow.
find out that there's horny moms in my area. I just can watch it, bro. This is such a good move for the UFC overall.
I think I'm gonna need your login for that. No, honestly, there's a lot of good things coming up. I'm gonna be paying attention to that UFC fight too.
Yeah, I think this deal UFC did with Paramount is huge for sports overall. Like, if you imagine you just pay, I think, $6.99 a month for Paramount Plus, you get whatever shows they have, and you get to watch all the UFC fights. That's kind of a
Mm.
no-brainer. Like their last deal they had, their last business model that they had, where they're selling $80 to $100 pay-per-views. Bro, I've watched UFC. I've watched every just about every numbered card since McGregor versus Nurmagomedov back in 2017. I've never paid for a fight once. I have
Mm.
never been over to someone's house where we're having a watch party and they paid for the fight. No one was buying that, and that was bad for UFC for business because I'm
Mm.
sure they're going to make I think $10 billion over the next 8 years from Paramount. And it just makes it harder for people to watch your sport. You want the sport to grow, you need it to be in a position where more people can watch it. And
True.
this is something I think is kind of bad about football right now. For example, the college football playoff is only on ESPN. And I don't even know how to buy ESPN. Like a package where I can just watch all the stuff ESPN has because they have ESPN Plus, but the college football isn't on ESPN Plus. It's on something else.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I was watching the college football playoff every game on Stream East. Why would I pay $300 a month for cable when Stream East is right there and it works fine? And if you take down Stream East, five
True.
more are going to pop back up. And I really
True.
want to see football become more accessible. I want to see them go down a similar path as the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah. Even I think the integration with popular apps, like we've even seen other fights. Jake Paul's fight was on Netflix, and I think a lot of people were watching that. So many that Netflix crashed. And that just proves that people are willing to go and shifting their mindset to instead of pay-per-views, they want to be able to access something they already have access to and not have to pay for a subscription that is, separate and super expensive. Um, Even with Verizon, they only give you ESPN Plus. They don't give you the ESPN Unlimited where you can see every single game. So it's pretty interesting. The marketing, I also question that. So hoping changes are made on administration level just to make things more accessible because college students probably aren't going to be paying for pay-per-view fight. They're going to go to Stream East and figure out something free. That's what most poor people are doing these days.
Bro, and it's easy. Like it's not hard to
Mhm.
find a perfect stream that is free. You might have to see some boobs to go on the stream, but you can still get it. And
Yeah. Let's be real though, like anyone over the age of like 40 is not going to be able to use Streamies. Like we already know
oh yeah.
they get one ad and they're lost.
No, dude, that's so funny.
Their iPhone is hacked at that
Bro,
point.
that's so funny that you
And
say that because my dad, bro, I had college football on some website a few weeks ago and I left and my dad texts me. He's like, "How do I click I'm not a robot?" But it's you click to hit play and then a new screen pops up. And then you
yeah,
have to X out of it, click on it again, X
make
out of
sure that
it.
you're a human. Yeah.
But it's not even that thing that came up was just a pop-up new tab.
Okay.
And so he texts me,
Yeah,
yeah, because it wasn't working for
don't
him.
understand.
Yeah, they just haven't. They can't do it. So
Yeah.
that is
If it's
true.
not like if it's not on the TV with the remote, there's there's no hope. So I think they also market to that. They know that people, at least a chunk of people, aren't going to be able to utilize those free stream platforms. And so they charge a bunch of money and they know that those people will pay it because they have no other option.
Yeah, that's a great point. I remember there was some football game my family was trying to watch. Um, it was me, two of my uncles, and my grandpa, in this room. And this was such a funny image. I remember my grandpa was like, I think it'd be on channel 5. You guys should turn on channel 5. And then my uncles are trying to find out which streaming platform it's like actually on. And I remember it's like, I think it's on Fubo. No, it's on this other like dumb sounding one. And then we're
Yeah.
trying to put in the password for it, and it's like so annoying. And then my grandpa's just over there's like, maybe try channel 3. It's like you're right, bro. Bro, old people they would have no clue
True.
how to watch something now. Even if it's
No,
on it
no.
because for example,
Paramount, even if it's on Paramount
yeah,
Plus.
NFL is on Netflix, NFL is on Amazon Prime, also different channels. They have no clue how to watch this stuff, I guarantee you.
Mm-mm. No, it's got to be on the clicker. It's got to be on the remote. If it's not, able to be. Yeah, they're built different. Let's be real, but that's why they got grandkids to help them out. So we're happy to do the dirty work for them, but the heavy lifting. Anyway, I do think that something does need to be done for the younger generation. I've heard of things that are like my dad, for example, he purchased a subscription. I can't remember who it's through, but it's $60 a year and you get like every channel ever. And so I think that something like that a little bit more accessible. And once, like, for example, I'm out of college, I think something like that would entice me more than having to deal with Stream East because I have more money. I'm able to pay $60 a year and I can deal with that. But the downside is, you can't watch it on your phone or something. It's got to be on your TV. So there's pros and cons to almost any situation. I think you just something's got to be done.
Yeah, I mean honestly, just OG cable would be better at this point. Like if I could just
It's
have
true.
Xfinity and it just has every channel, sign me up. But there just always has to be like ESPN in there, who they have to have their little. Because I remember even when the cable was big when I was a kid, you'd get ESPN and ESPN2, but then there'd be like ESPNU that you have to pay extra for. Just making a business where you pay one thing and you get everything. And that is better for your product overall because
It's true.
then more people are going to buy that subscription. It kind of makes it a no-brainer. I feel like that is kind of an inevitable future. Like I hope that there's just one thing. You know
Option
that one
that
game?
everyone
You know
does.
that one game where you're like the blob and you're going around, you're trying to like eat the other blobs if you're bigger, but then a bigger one can get you?
Like
Yeah,
Slither.io.
we just need that to complete.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
We need that. We just need an option. Give us an option. We don't want to pay for 10 things. We want to pay for one thing. I think
Yes.
that's the pivotal point. Yeah. As we know, it's also basketball season. Basketball season's in full swing right now. I don't know how much NBA you're watching, but Blazers are sitting at 500 right now, 22 and 22. Both of us are from Portland, so that's kind of the team that we go for. But I think it's just interesting to see All-Star game is coming up almost halfway through the season, and they just named the starters, and LeBron is not starting for the first time in like 21 years.
Wow. But he's still
Kind of an
on the
interesting
team.
take. Yeah, I think he's still going to be an all-star. I don't know if they've officially, as of right now, released the updated roster. I think they have about seven or eight per East and West. And LeBron is on that. He's going to be on the roster, but he's not starting officially. So, first time in pretty much his career, I want to say.
That's crazy. Yeah, he seems like kind of designated unk in the NBA
Mm.
now.
He's the oldest player in the league.
Wow. It is crazy. You if you're a basketball fan, you watch LeBron James. You've probably lived most of your life watching him, you're like, wow, this is probably the last. This could be the last season. It's definitely the last
Yeah.
few seasons of
Yeah.
this generation. Like I think of Lewis Hamilton in F1. Like there's just so many players I watch. I'm like, damn, I have to really enjoy this because this is not forever being able to watch some of these athletes.
It's true. Uh, Currently I'm living in Utah, and the Jazz are a pretty affordable team to go watch. So I might have to go catch a Lakers Jazz game because it could be his last season, like you're saying. And I've never seen him play in person. So hopefully he plays against the Jazz and he's not just chilling on the bench. But yeah, it's pretty impressive to see uh the career that those types of players have had. Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, all those players that were huge in the 2010s and slightly before are now phasing out and will, in probably the next 5 seasons, be almost irrelevant, if not all retired.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty crazy to see where the league is going and all the change that's happened. And even in racing, we've seen changes, like you were saying.
Yeah, Ben, should I be getting hyped on the Blazers this year? Like are they good or I feel like for me, I just don't need more pain in my life when it comes to sports teams, you know? So I'm a little
I
weary.
agree. It's hard to be a Blazers fan right now. It is true. Sometimes there is pain. Right now, we're ranked number 9 in the Western Conference, sitting at 22 and 22. So we're ahead of, let's see, the Pelicans, Kings, Jazz, Mavericks, Grizzlies, and Clippers. So we're sitting at number 9 right now. But there's just better teams in the West: Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Timberwolves, even the Lakers and Rockets, Suns and Warriors have better records. So yeah, we haven't won a championship since 1977 with Bill Walton, and that's the only one we've ever won. So, uh, being a Blazers fan is not for the faint of heart because we've been waiting so long. Um, at least we have a championship, and a lot of franchises don't even have that. So, there's something to be grateful for. But even then, I wasn't alive. I remember my dad was like 10 years old, and he barely remembers it. So, a lot of Blazers fans are just waiting for a great breakout season. And I don't think it's going to be this season. I think next season's the time where the Blazers can actually make moves, especially with Damian Lillard coming back probably in his last 2 to 3 years in the league. And he's hopefully, he's wanting to stay in Portland because he wants to bring a championship there. So might not be this year, but hopefully in the near future, the Blazers can be a really scary team in the Western Conference.
Bro, yeah.
Kind of like the '90s. I'm hoping we can see some of that.
Bro, I'm excited to see Damian Lillard be back on the Blazers. That might
Mhm.
get me to go to a game, honestly.
I think it should, and because he's an iconic player, one of my favorite players of all time, definitely one of my favorite Blazers of all time, and just an incredible player. So yeah, if he can't get you in a seat, I don't know who can at this point.
Wow. Yeah, so next week we got UFC and NFL conference finals.
AFC Championship and the NFC Championship.
We'll know the Super Bowl matchup in a week from today when we're coming to you live again.
Yep. Yeah, so a couple of games we're going to be focusing on this week, especially in basketball and the NBA. We're going to be watching the Grizzlies and the Pelicans battle it out this Friday. We we want to see who comes out on top of that matchup. Um, like I said, we're Blazers fans, so we're just trying to watch good games. We're hoping that this is a good one. Another one to tune into on Saturday, bringing it to college basketball. We have the BYU Cougars and the Utah Utes playing in the Holy War.
Let's go.
This
I'm
time
actually hyped for this.
it's in Provo, Utah. The BYU Cougars beat Utah earlier this season. Richie Saunders' first time winning in Utah in Salt Lake. So a huge matchup. This time they're playing in Provo this Saturday. It's gonna be rocking in Provo, Utah. So
Bro, you might have to
well,
go.
I might have to attend.
You might have to
Yeah.
bro, you might have to be there with the recruits.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. I think that'll be the way I have to go. But the Cougars are coming off a tough loss 2 days ago to Texas Tech. They couldn't avenge the football team
Dang.
for the loss, for the two losses earlier this season in college football. So the Cougars are hoping to bounce back with a resounding win against the Utes, which is always a good feeling for a Cougars fan. And that's another game we're paying attention to. So keep that one in your calendars. 3:30 p.m. this Saturday, MST, and then 6 o'clock p.m. on Friday, MST is the Grizzlies Pelicans. It's gonna be a big one.
Bro, you know if Brigham Young University and Utah Utes are clashing in any sport, it's going to be an absolute showdown.
It is. It's gonna be a nail biter, most likely. Yeah, it'll be interesting, and the Cougars, they have a great team this year. They're 16-2, so they lost to Texas Tech a couple days ago, and then their only other loss has been to UConn. So they've been playing really well against pretty much all their opponents, and I'm really excited for March Madness here in about 2 months because there's a lot of good teams, especially out of the Big 12, playing this year. So I'm excited.
And this week, we have the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona. I'm actually hyped for this race. This is like the first race of the year, kicking off the season. I'm especially hyped to watch Connor Zilic drive for Cadillac in the GTP class. Guys, this is insane, okay? Connor Zilic, he drives one of these bad boys, okay? One of these
It looks like Chick
NASCAR.
Hicks.
Yes. Well, this isn't his car, but this is the car, like the same kind of car, the NASCAR Xfinity car. They got this big, heavy ass, slow car that he's driving, okay? They usually are driving this thing on an oval. He is going to a road course and driving something that honestly resembles much more of a Formula One car, okay? A crazy fast, high downforce car that has a completely different driving style, driving with also with traffic like the slow GT3s and prototypes. It's a completely different style of racing. I think he just turned 19 years old. I am so excited to watch him this year in his first year in NASCAR Cup Series and this weekend at the 24 Hours of Daytona. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he wins the race. Like, he's one of the best drivers in the world right now. We honestly have lots to look forward to in the next episode. So we will catch you then. Honestly, Ben, I will say I do hope when we film the next episode we're talking about a Seahawks dub.
I hope so too. Yeah, it would be it would be a healing moment for any Seahawks fan. You guys know what I mean.
All right, guys. Peace out.
JB Sports, first episode, baby.